Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Deutschland.
There will be lots of drama, that is for sure. The gloves are off.
Jetzt aber Attacke da vorne. Da musst du alles auf den Punkt bringen.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, da geht einer massiv fliegen.
What an amazing move!
Gibt's schöneren Rennsport?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hockenheimring. This is it. 15 races down, 1 to go to identify the champion of 2025 for Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. Yesterday, we crowned the brand new rookie champion in the shape of Sascha Norden. Yesterday, we crowned the Pro-Am champion in the shape of Michael Schrei. But the big one is up for grabs, and nobody knows which way it's going to go. Robert de Haan, midway through the season, looked like it was all getting away from him, but he picked it up by the scruff of the neck. And now, Fast Bob is at the top of the point standings. Speedy Sandro, Alessandro Ghiretti, has dropped down to second, but he is just 2 points behind. Ghiretti starts on the front row of the grid for the last race of the season. Directly behind him is the points leader, Robert de Haan. The bottom line is this: whoever wins in front, whoever finishes in front, is the champion. It's like a classic world final race. 2 drivers are gonna be going for it. You can see there, they are the only 2 drivers now in the hunt. 25 points for a win, and the points pay down to 15th place. But with 2 points between them, it's basically gonna be elbows out, whoever finishes in front. It could not be any more tense. I tell you what would make it more tense, there would be a little bit of rain. And that's exactly what we just had, a rain shower. And now the sun's come out. The teams did not know which tyres to put on the cars. I believe the front runners are all starting on slick tyres, but the track is greasy. The opening few laps of this race are going to be so tricky. This is going to go down to the wire. I just can't wait, to be quite honest. The 16th and final race of the season to crown the brand new champion. Larry Tenforder, who's now retired from racing in Carrera Cup Germany. It's his protege, Flint Scheuring, the driver that he's been coaching. Well, one of his proteges clinched the rookie championship yesterday in the shape of Sascha Norden. And his protege, the other one, Flint Scheuring, starts on pole position with his teammate and second in the championship, Alessandro Ghiretti, alongside. It's an all Schumacher CLRT front row. I spoke to Flint Scheuring yesterday, and I'm like, are you going to help your teammate? He says, mate, I want to help my teammate, but I want third in the championship. At the moment, Huber van Eindhoven is third in the championship with 179 points. Flint Scheuring has 167. He's got a fairly sizable gap to Huber van Eindhoven, but Huber van Eindhoven is one of many drivers who have received grid drops, and Huber van Eindhoven has had a massive 10-place grid drop in the totting up of penalty points. And several drivers have crossed that line since yesterday's race. Significantly, the driver that originally earned pole position, Alex Tauscher, the driver who started on pole for yesterday's race, led most of the laps but picked up a penalty for track limits, had to visit the penalty box, came home eventually in second place once all the penalties had been applied. He had earned a pole position for this race, but he has now gone over the line in terms of penalty points as well. He's had a 5-place grid drop. Also, Joe Warhurst, another. Sebastian Freimut, Jonas Greif, all drivers who have had grid drops for going over the limit on penalty points. It's mixed the grid up somewhat, and it means that Flint Scheuring has inherited that pole position. It is his 5th pole position in his career in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. But boy, is he going to be under pressure. It's all going to be kicking off. You've seen some of the leading drivers, the pictures of them flicking through your screens. Starting third on the grid is Theo Overhaus, the Porsche Junior. He too wants some silverware. And Robert de Haan lines up fourth on the grid. So the drivers now spinning the wheels as much as possible in the pit box, the grid boxes, to try and dry a bit of the track out. Now the formation lap, and we're going to have two formation laps here as we look at the grid. Fritz Schöring and Alessandro Ghiretti make it an all Schumacher front row. Theo Overhaus and Robert de Haan, championship leader, line up on row 2 of the grid. Row 3, we haven't even mentioned Keegan Masters yesterday. He picked up a penalty in the end yesterday. Alex Tauscher alongside him, but great to have Keegan here. Ariel Levy and Janis Stiak are on row 4 of the grid. And on row 5 is Senna Van Serlen, the rookie pole sitter, and the new rookie champion, Sacha Norden. They will line up alongside each other. Gianluca Tucciaroglu, good qualifying from him, with Kiana Blum for company alongside. Then it's Dirk Schutten, another very popular driver, guesting here with Matheus Ferreira alongside him. Nick Ho did really well yesterday on his first time in Carrera Cup Germany. He has Hoop van Eindhoven with that grid drop alongside him. Then it's Jan Seifert, then the pole sitter for the Pro-Ams, Ahmed Al-Shihab. Mikael Schrey, the new Pro-Am champion, lines it up next with Marcos Flack, who comes all the way from Australia alongside him. Gisela Cordil, great to have him back on the grid, and this is also the case for Karel Krent, two drivers that we haven't seen for a while. Lawrence Stegman, another guesting driver with Søren Spreng. He had a torrid day yesterday. He's on row 12. Sebastian Freimuth with the grid drop has Alexandra Vatova alongside, and then it's Joe Warhurst with that grid drop. He has Mikael Esman alongside, and then the last of the grid drop drivers, Jonas Greif at the back of the pack. We've got 8 drivers that are unfamiliar for the entire season that are with us today. We have 4 guest drivers in the shape of Dirk Schutten, Marcos Flack, Alexandra Vatova and Lawrence Stegman, so they do not score points. We have 4 substitute drivers, just like Cordil, Keegan Masters, Karel Krent and Nick Ho. They do score points. I have to say, points are not so much of an issue here in this race because we're very much focused on the drivers towards the front in terms of the championship. Haven't mentioned the team championship yet. That is still very much alive, with Schumacher CLRT leading Proton Huber Competition by just 17 points. The 2 highest scoring cars in each team score points. We'll need to try and keep across of that as the race goes on, but if Schumacher CLRT stay in the formation they're in at the moment, then they will clinch the team championship. Team GP Elite have 394 points, so they're 22 points back. We've just completed the first of 2 formation laps. The reason being is that with these greasy conditions, the track very treacherous in places. We've just had a Frecker race and it was insanely slippery for them. So this is a great opportunity for the drivers to generate heat into the tyres, into the brakes, maybe even generate a bit of a dry line on the track. The sun is out, so the track is drying quite quickly. The air temperature 11.4 degrees centigrade, so it's not exactly tropical here at the Hockenheimring on a circuit that is 4.574 kilometers around. That equates to about 2.842 miles. 17 turns, 9 to the right and 8 to the left. As is traditional with an extra formation lap, the race duration will be reduced, so we're down to 27 minutes plus 1 lap. It is also the scene of the DTM finale as well this weekend. That one is going down to the wire as well. Stay tuned for that. There's 8 drivers in the hunt for that particular championship with 1 race to go. That'll be happening this afternoon, but before all of that, Porsche Carrera Cup Germany have an opportunity to steal the show, and this is an absolute epic grandstand finish to the season. It's a season where we've seen many different winners, but it's come down to just 2 cars, and Søren Spreng, who crashed out in the early stages yesterday, has had a bit of a moment himself again. Looks like he's able to rejoin. Well, that just tells you a lot about what kind of condition the track is in. Let's have another look here. So it looks like he was on his own, just lit up the tyres, ducked across in front of Sebastian Freimuth, the back end of the car swapping ends, and he's able to rejoin. But that just shows you how on the edge these cars are. Talking of these cars, it is a farewell to the 992.2 generation of this amazing Porsche 911 car, because next year we have the brand new Cup car coming in. So it is a little bit of an end of an era feel to the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car based on the 992 generation. Next year will be the Porsche 911 Cup car, to give it its official title. Has more horsepower, is more sustainable. Right, well, we've got another formation lap that has just been awarded. So the race distance has been dropped down to 24 minutes plus 1 lap. We'll keep it going like this for the next 24 minutes. So a third formation lap has been awarded, and I think Søren Spreng might have influenced the race directors somewhat. What we want is to get this race done and dusted without safety cars or red flags. This time last year, it was a real thriller, but it was thick fog, if I remember rightly, and the rookie championship on that particular occasion was decided on the last half of the last lap of the last race. That might have involved one Mr. de Haan as well. Eventually it went the way of Flint Schuring, the outgoing rookie champion, who's celebrating that championship by starting on pole position. I would just shout out his brother, Maurice Schuring, who scored his first podium in the DTM yesterday afternoon. So the Schuring family were celebrating last night, but it's full focus today with Flint on that pole position. Flint, as I've mentioned already, 4th in the championship. He wants to try and nick 3rd off Huub van Eindhoven. So 179 to 167. So he's 12 points behind Huub van Eindhoven. So he wants to get up into 3rd place. And with van Eindhoven mid-pack because of that grid penalty, that certainly gives Flint Schuring an opportunity. That's not really going to help Alessandro Ghiretti, who would very much like Schuring to let him through, and then for him to hold up Robert de Haan behind. But I don't think anything like that is going to be happening anytime soon. But anything can happen in the next 24 minutes plus 1 lap, and probably will, because that is how long is going to be left of this 2025 season. So the cars now coming to the end of their 3rd formation lap. You can see their confirmation from race control. 24 minutes plus 1 lap is the duration. I'm going to remind you one more time what the situation is. Rookie championship decided, Pro-Am championship decided. The overall championship, whoever finishes in front of Alessandro Ghiretti and Robert de Haan, as long as it's in the top half of the points, whoever finishes in front will be champion, because there are just 2 points separating them. 25 points for first, 20 for second, 16 for third, 13 for fourth, and so on all the way down. Once you get down to 6th place, then there's a 1 point increments between each position. So, but you get the feeling that at least one of these two, well, they could finish in the higher reaches of the points, but who knows? It has been a bruising season, and it's all coming down to this. The tension is almost unbearable here at the Hockenheimring as the cars now settle in their grid boxes. The sun is shining, and we are getting ready to go for race 16 of a 16-race season of what has been a sensational season for Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. Are you ready for one last dance here at the Hockenheimring? We're waiting for 5 red lights on, and then it'll be 5 red lights off. We are go! A poor start for Ghiretti. De Haan is alongside him already and leading the way in front of Ghiretti, but into turn 1, Ghiretti will have that faster line, go deep into turn 1, round to turn 2. Ghiretti getting the momentum and fighting back on the outside of de Haan. So Theo Overhaus coming through, a lock up into turn 2 they come, tiptoeing on this slippery track. It's Flint Schuring leading the way. De Haan had a nose in front briefly, but Ghiretti got it back on the wide outside of turn 1. Theo Overhaus into that second place. Ghiretti flashing the lights like mad. Get out of the way, I need to come through, he says. Theo Overhaus wants a finish, he wants a win in this race. He is not interested in letting Ghiretti through. The two Porsche juniors, though, run side by side into the hairpin. Robert de Haan being unusually cautious, I'd have to say, waiting for this to unfold in front of him. He said before the race started, I know what I have to do. I have to get in front of Alessandro Ghiretti, but this is a shorter race. Right, car 11, leaving the track, gaining an advantage. That is Alessandro Ghiretti. He is under investigation for that wide move into turn 1. Is the race director going to get involved in the outcome of this championship? That would be a disaster if they decide that that move into turn 1 was unfair and they give him a penalty. That will hand the championship to Robert de Haan on a plate, gift wrapped at the moment in front of him. Theo Overhaus seems to be just holding de Haan up a little bit because the two Schumacher CLRT cars have broken clear. Now, really important for Ghiretti to try and break clear of this battle, because if there is a penalty incoming, then he will need to have a gap. Right, this was it, into turn 1. Now you can see Ghiretti went so wide. I mean, on any other occasion, that would have been track limits. The race director is sometimes a little bit more forgiving on the opening lap, and Ghiretti and his team will argue as de Haan has now got past Theo Overhaus, so we'll set about after him. But look at Ariel Levy there. He took his first win at this race this time last year. He is trying to force his way through as well. But the team at Schumacher CLRT might well argue that there was nowhere else for Ghiretti to go. Levy pulling alongside Theo Overhaus along the Parabolica. They will come reaching speeds of 260 kilometers an hour before the heavy braking. Turn 6, the Sixt Carrera in first gear, and through they come out of the hairpin. So everybody surviving, everybody well behaved at the moment. Flint Schuring leads the way. If the race finished now, Ghiretti would be champion, but Ghiretti has been told to fall back behind Robert de Haan. The race director has got involved. Ghiretti is going to have to give up second place. He's going to have to get in front of Robert de Haan again. So de Haan will jump up into second place. That is the instruction that has been given. Ghiretti will have to back out of it. Now he'll want to think about this. He'll need to decide where's the best place to let de Haan through so that he can regain the advantage as quickly as possible. What a sensation. 20 minutes remaining of this season, and Alessandro Ghiretti in second place has been instructed to let Robert de Haan through. De Haan is not even particularly close at the moment. Is de Haan playing his own game? Is he choosing the time as to when he gets past Alessandro Ghiretti? At the moment, Ghiretti, there he is ahead. Now Robert de Haan moves to the inside. Ghiretti's going to give him the space. Then he's going to get on the accelerator and he's going to try and get him back straight away. The two drivers run briefly side by side. De Haan up into second place. Ghiretti down into third along the Parabolica. This is for the championship. Second and third place. Whoever finishes in front is the champion. At the moment, it's de Haan. Ghiretti's coming back into the hairpin, under braking, going deep. Ghiretti ducks back to the inside. The Schumacher CLRT car has been so quick all season long. So Ghiretti has got to find a route past Robert de Haan. Sensational stuff. Into turn 8 we come. So Robert de Haan knows what he's doing. The 11 car waiting for a moment to pounce. Robert de Haan in second place. Oh, I can hardly bear this. Flint Schuring, he's 3.5 seconds off up the road. He's not interested in this. Robert de Haan in second place. This is why Ghiretti had to give that place back. He went so far offline, the race director went, yes, I have a little bit of tolerance on the opening lap, but not that much. And that is why he's had to allow De Haan through, and that is the moment that it happened. Then he got onto the accelerator, tried to get it back straight away. Meanwhile, while all that's going on, Flint Schuring has broken well clear. De Haan has a gap over Ghiretti at the moment, but we have less than 18.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. You can see cars behind weaving to try and generate heat in the tyres because it is a little bit nippy here. So there is a race going on as well, just to remind you. So let's have a look further back. Well, that was Robert de Haan at the very beginning. He had that tight inside line. You can see he had his nose in front of Ghiretti into turn 1. And that was when Ghiretti went deep into the corner. I think de Haan might have known what was likely to be coming there. So there was a lock-up going into the corner from Ghiretti. That would not have done his tyres any favours as well. So we have an incident between Sasha Norden and Kiana Blum that has been reported to the stewards as we look at the perspective from Ghiretti exploring downtown Mannheim there. He rejoins the track behind Theo Uberhaus and tries to move to the inside on that particular point into turn 2. He has the inside line. Right, here's our race leader, Flint Schuring. If the race finished now, Robert de Haan would be champion. If Ghiretti can get past him, and you know he's going to be giving it a try, Ghiretti will be champion. Flint Schuring leads the way, looks pretty solid there. The leading rookie, as there's another lockup for Ghiretti, is the pressure getting to the French driver. The leading rookie, Sasha Norden, in 12th place overall. Second in the rookies, Matheus Ferreira in 13th place. Nick Ho is in 16th place, but third in the rookies. The leading Pro-Am is Ahmed Al-Shihab, with the new Pro-Am champion, Michael Schrei, second in the Pro-Ams. Al-Shihab is 18th overall, Schrei is 21st. Third in the Pro-Ams, Michael Essmann, he is in 25th overall. But our attention turns back to the front. We are getting close to the halfway point of the race already. What can Alessandro Ghiretti do to get past Robert de Haan? De Haan has now just pumped in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:43.596. So the race is not coming to Ghiretti at the moment. De Haan just needs to hold it all together, keep it where it is. He doesn't need to get past Flint Schuring, does not need to get involved with Flint Schuring. He just needs to stay exactly where he is and he will be champion. There's Dirk Schuiten. He had a mixed day yesterday, but has been so impressive on his debut this year in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. We saw him in Spa-Francorchamps at the beginning of the season, and now he's chosen here, the Hockenheimring, to make a return. Behind him there is Keanu Blum and Sasha Norden. As already mentioned, Norden and Blum have already had some kind of run-in that the stewards are taking a look at. We're on board with Sasha Norden now, the new rookie champion, coached by the outgoing drivers champion, Larry Tenforder, and showing what he could do by winning the rookie championship. Keanu Blum, the driver for ID Racing, comes all the way from Austria. Really great to have him here in the Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany field. Just ahead of him, Dirk Schuiten, always quick wherever he goes. So this is the view in towards turn 1. You can see the track is drying. There is a dry line appearing, and that may well change the characteristics of the cars. Right, let's have a look. The gap, De Haan is 0.894 clear of Alessandro Ghiretti. So that's the job that Ghiretti has got to do. You can see the gap evolution there. So De Haan has been opening up a gap, but with these cars and with these tyres, you've got to make them last. You cannot take too much out too soon. You've got to have something at the end of the race. We've seen it in the past where drivers have gone too hard early on. At the end of the race, they have no grip and suddenly they are vulnerable. And that will certainly be in the back of Robert de Haan's mind as we see Theo Uberhaus now in 4th place, coming under pressure from Ariel Levy, who's had a fairly mixed weekend so far, would dearly love to get somewhere near to a podium position in the final race of the season. He's in 5th place at the moment. We've got Alex Tauscher just behind. Alex, who was not happy yesterday, had the instruction to visit the penalty box. He said, I had no warning whatsoever. Suddenly it came up that I had to go to the penalty box for track limits, and he had to surrender the lead. In so doing, he also tallied up the necessary penalty points, 6 penalty points, which meant he got a 5-place grid drop for this race as well. So what was looking like a euphoric weekend for Tauscher suddenly turned into a fairly disastrous weekend, and now he's trying to grab something from it. He's in 6th place at the moment. He's got Ariel Levy in front, Theo Overhaus looking, for my money, to be struggling a little bit for pace, a 1:43.645, so about 8/10 slower than the car in front, which is Alessandro Ghiretti. So Theo Overhaus not really enjoying the pace that he had hoped for at the moment. That is the fight that we are watching. It's the fight for 4th place. We've got one eye on what is happening in front of them, though. Flint Schering leading the way, 4.5 seconds clear of Robert de Haan. So de Haan not taking too much out of the car at the moment. Alessandro Ghiretti, 0.854 behind as Overhaus now goes deep into the hairpin and surrenders 1, 2, maybe even 3 places, because Keegan Masters, the driver from South Africa, making his debut this weekend, picked up a penalty yesterday, but still got a 3rd place, a podium finish. He crossed the line in 2nd, but picked up a penalty that was awarded after the race. So really impressive. We're hoping to see Keegan a little bit more in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany, maybe next season, but he's doing a great job there. And he going toe-to-toe with Alex Tauscher and Theo Overhaus, and that was the moment. Overhaus clearly struggling with grip in these mixed conditions. Right, here's our race leader, Flint Schering. No problems there. Our focus very much on the fight for 2nd place. This is for the championship. De Haan in 2nd at the moment, Ghiretti in 3rd, Theo Overhaus in 4th, Ariel Levy in 5th, Alex Tauscher in 6th. Sorry, Overhaus now down to 7th, of course. Keegan Masters in 6th, then Theo Overhaus, Senna Van Serlen, Janis Stiak, and then Dirk Schouten rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Keanu Blum, then the leading rookie, Sasha Norden. Matthias Ferreira is about 1.6 seconds behind him. That's in the rookie race. Then Huban Eindhoven in 14th place. So if the race finished now, doing some calculations, then Flint Schering would jump up to 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, which is exactly what he wants right now. Look at this, Ghiretti is responding. You can see that he is closing in on Robert de Haan. 10 3/4 minutes remaining of this season. 10 3/4 minutes to decide the champion of 2025. One of, if not the toughest cup racing competition in the world. And it's all coming down to this after so much drama. If they were to tie in points, it would go back to race wins. At the moment, Ghiretti has 4 race wins and Robert de Haan now has 5. But they're not going to tie at the moment because de Haan 6 points clear. You know that if Ghiretti launches an attack, de Haan is going to throw everything at defending that 2nd place. This is a battle that has been raging on all season, not just in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany, as we see Gianluca Tucciaroglu clearly having problems in the runoff area, and maybe he's just outbraked himself. Looks like he's getting back up to speed. So Tucciaroglu, though, dropping back through the pack. But in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, we've seen Ghiretti and de Haan going at each other all season long. And on that series, it's gone the way of Alessandro Ghiretti. He took the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup Championship. And as a side note, Flint Schering, our race leader, took the Rookie Championship in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup. Ghiretti would dearly love to make it the double. These two drivers had to share a car at the Nürburgring on the Nordschleife for the NLS license earlier on in the year. The publicity photos had them both smiling alongside each other, I think the only reason they didn't collide with each other was probably because they were driving the same car. There isn't a lot of love lost between them, it has to be said, and that is racing. You're there to beat your rival, and they both want to beat each other. As I've just seen Gianluca Tucciaroglu peeling off into the pits, such a shame. The very likeable, entertaining driver for A-Works by Porsche Paderborn, who has had so much potential and so much pace this year, but has just not been able to get the results that he deserves. And it looks as though his season is coming to a premature end with 8.25 minutes remaining. We've had so many talented drivers joining the series this year. And in the rookies, we have been so lucky. Sasha Norden, Matheus Ferreira, and Joe Warhurst. If we could cut the trophy into 3 and give it a bit to all of them, then we'd do it, because they are all such huge talents. But it's Sasha Norden who eventually came out on top and took that rookie championship with a race to spare. But we have an embarrassment of riches in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany, with so much talent in the field and lots of guesting drivers here as we ride on board with Sasha Norden, the rookie champion. He clinched it yesterday with that 1 race remaining. We saw him in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux last year, last couple of seasons, where he has really shone. But I think coming into Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany and the coaching from Larry Tenforder, that combination has really proven to be a winner, as Norden now challenges on the outside of Kiana Blum to try and break into the top 10 overall in the rookie race. Norden is leading the way, but he's also scoring points in the overall championship as well. Kiana Blum has had a good season. I think a 9th place is the best that he's had so far this season. Sasha Norden wanting to dump him out of the top 10 if at all possible. Less than 7 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of the season. I've got one eye on the battles up in front at the moment. Ghiretti has not been able to close in on de Haan, which is why we're able to focus on some of these other battles. Blum in that 10th place. Norden not really in the same fight. He's in the rookie fight in this race, albeit having clinched the championship. So very much racing for glory, but there'll be a top step of the podium in the rookies. Yet another trophy going back to the Netherlands and going the way of Proton Huber Competition if Norden stays where he is. Second, Matheus Ferreira, another mega impressive driver. Second in the rookies, that is. He's in 13th overall. Third, Nick Ho. Another who's come through the Benelux series. And there is Matheus Ferreira getting up close and personal with Van Eindhoven. Van Eindhoven, who won his first ever race here last year at this event. Trying to come back now after that grid drop. And with Matheus Ferreira, who has just come straight in and come straight up to speed. We've got Nick Ho, 3rd in the rookies, making his debut this year. Hope to see some more of him next year. And Nick Ho, who is coached by Wouter Boerkamps, who we saw winning at the Red Bull Ring in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany last time out. 4th in the rookie race at the moment is Marcos Flack, all the way from Brisbane in Australia. And then 5th in the rookies, Joe Warhurst. He's 22nd overall. He's had a pretty tough weekend. He got involved in an accident that was not of his making at the Red Bull Ring and wrecked the car. He stepped into an old Larry Tenforder car, but you tune the car, you refine it as the season goes along, and having to start again effectively with 1 round remaining is a steep mountain for him to climb. So Joe Warhurst, certainly his 22nd position at the moment, certainly not reflecting the talent and the ability of that driver, who is red hot, one of the absolute superstars of Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. Right, well, Gianluca Tucciaroglu did have a notification for gaining an advantage by using a shortcut, but the fact that he's in the pits now probably means he's given that advantage up. We've had a number of track limit warnings again. Just noticed a few of those suddenly popping up on the screen. Now, do any of them involve any of the front-running cars? Well, not at the moment. Alex Tausch has had another track limit warning. That won't have improved his mood any bit at all. but Tauscher currently in 5th place, so not really gunning for a podium finish. Right, less than 4 minutes remaining. Make that 3 3/4 minutes remaining of the season. This is the battle for the championship. The car on the right-hand side is Robert de Haan. The car behind him is Alessandro Ghiretti. If de Haan stays where he is, he will be champion. If Ghiretti gets past, he will be champion. It's all coming down to the very, very last few laps of the season. As Ghislain Cordial, great to have him back. First time we've seen him in a couple of years, as he challenges Marcos Flack. And Flack has actually found a route past, so into 16th place. So Ghislain Cordial getting shuffled down the pack somewhat. But good to have him here. Hopefully we'll see him back a little bit more regularly in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. There is Ghislain in the number 2 car. In the background, Jan Seifert, another of the drivers involved in that incident at the Red Bull Ring. Another driver in an unfamiliar car, having to have sat behind the wheel of a replacement steed as a result. 2.5 minutes remaining of this season. Have we got any more twists in the tail to come in this Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany, race 16 of a 16-race season? Flint Scheuring looks to have this under control at the moment. He's 3.161 seconds clear of Robert de Haan. Right on board there briefly, Joe Warhurst. Just fighting his way back. You can see still pushing on, still focused, still moving up to 21st place now. So Joe Warhurst, he's not giving up, is he? So Flint Scheuring, 3.1 clear. So all being well, he should be good for that win, and that will be enough to jump him up to 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, which is what he wanted to do. 2nd, Robert de Haan, 3.1 back. 8 tenths behind him is Ghiretti. Ghiretti will now know time is running out. We have just over 90 seconds plus 1 lap remaining of this season. It's going to be now or never for de Haan. But now, suddenly de Haan looking like he's closing in on Flint Scheuring. Is there a bit of team tactics coming in here? Let's have a look as they cross the line. The gap, 2 seconds. Robert de Haan has closed in on Flint Scheuring by 2 seconds in 1 lap. So with 1.25 minutes remaining, is Flint Scheuring going to play a part in the outcome of this title? Is he going to allow Alessandro Ghiretti to close in on Robert de Haan? 1 minute remaining. I told you this was not over yet, didn't I? So 1st, 2nd, 3rd running together. Robert de Haan has a Schumacher CLRT car in front. He has a Schumacher CLRT car behind. It's Flint Scheuring trying to back Robert de Haan into Alessandro Ghiretti. Time is running out. They're into the hairpin, turn 6 at the moment. 30 seconds remaining, so about 1.5 laps left of the season. What is going to happen here? Robert de Haan will be aware that there may be some team tactics going on here. He's going to try and make the challenge on Flint Scheuring. He'll want to try and get past and get clear. Is Scheuring going to help Alessandro Ghiretti to win the championship in Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany? Because we are getting ready in just a few moments to start the last lap. De Haan challenging to the outside of Flint Scheuring. What does he do? Does he make the challenge? Does he try and hold station for 1 lap? Ghiretti sees his opportunity. He is now right behind Robert de Haan. We are about to start the very last lap of the season, and it's still all to play for. Out towards turn 1 we come. Robert de Haan challenging to the outside of Flint Scheuring. Is Scheuring going to try and take it wide? Scheuring very cautious on the brakes. Here comes Alessandro Ghiretti alongside Robert de Haan in towards turn 2. This is for the championship. Ghiretti on the outside. All 3 of them come together. Flint Scheuring comes off the worst. De Haan's in front. It's going to be de Haan who takes the championship if he can hold it together for this last lap. Flint Scheuring tried to play his part. He ended up getting it turned around. Robert de Haan takes the lead of the race. Ghiretti sees his championship rival in front into the hairpin for the very last time. What a sensational finish to Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany 2025. It went down to the very last lap of the race, and now Robert de Haan is half a lap from a championship win. Alessandro Ghiretti, his main rival, in second place. Ariel Levy has been the winner in this. He's up onto a podium position. Alex Tauscher into fourth. But what a sensational last lap. Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany in towards turn 13 for the very last time. A couple more corners left. Alessandro Ghiretti is out of ideas because Robert de Haan is leading the way. He heads in towards turn 15, 16, then 17 for the very last time. The champion of Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany 2025 is Robert de Haan. Alessandro Ghiretti in second place, Ariel Levy in third, Alex Tauscher in fourth, Keegan Masters in sixth. Oh my goodness. So Keegan Masters in fifth, I beg your pardon. Flint Schuring tried to do what he could. Alessandro Ghiretti, you can see, oh boy, pointing at his own head, so frustrated. He came so close. That moment will be replayed forever. Wow, what an end to the season. Just as an aside, Sasha Norden wins the rookie race. Ahmed Al-Shihab wins the Pro-Am race. Unbelievable. Robert de Haan, emotional. He had to keep his cool. Maybe the Robert de Haan of a year ago may not have been as cool as that. He's been working on it, and now he is rewarded with a championship in Porsche Sixt. Right, let's have a look at this again. So there was Flint Schuring. De Haan had a little look to the outside. Then Ghiretti tried to go to the outside of both of them. He was on that wide outside into turn two. He got alongside Flint Schuring. Was there contact between de Haan and Schuring that may have speared Schuring into? I don't know. Hard to see, but Ghiretti had that little bit of contact as well, and that is where Flint Schuring went spinning around. Flint Schuring, oh my goodness, what a way to finish the season. This is what it looked like from de Haan. He could see the championship maybe slipping away. Right, boomf, into the back. It was contact into Flint Schuring that sent Flint Schuring spinning. Robert de Haan, though, came out of it on top. Oh my goodness gracious me. Flint Schuring finished in 15th place, Huub van Eindhoven in 10th. It means that Huub van Eindhoven retains the third place in the Drivers' Championship. Well, I think Ghiretti probably owes Flint Schuring a drink for at least giving it a whirl. The stewards, needless to say, are taking a look at it. And they will be making their decisions as well. As now onto the drag strip, as has become traditional on the season closer. The donuts come. Robert de Haan using all of the runoff area and maybe a little bit more, celebrating in front of the packed South Bend stand where the fans are being entertained. Ahmed Al-Shihab there as well, doing the donuts. The smoke rises up in the air here at the Hockenheimring. There's Sasha Norden, Michael Esman there as well, all celebrating the end of what has been an incredible season for Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. Wow. Well, I will just keep one eye on the timing screen just in case there are any updates. We're looking again at this incident. This is the incident where it was all decided. A bit of teamwork maybe coming into play at the very last lap of the race. And that was Alessandro Ghiretti as he saw the championship slip away. Oh my goodness. There is Ghiretti shaking his head as he walks from the car. He gave it everything. The French driver, he took the Super Cup title a few weeks ago, beating Robert de Haan at the last event. But de Haan has executed his revenge. And Fast Bob climbs from the car, and he'll climb onto the roof, and he will celebrate a title. Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany, the champion of 2025. The new name engraved on the trophy to succeed Larry Tenforder. The Dutch drivers continue their stranglehold of this championship. Wow. I'm going to need to watch that again and again to just get on top of that. We had a feeling that it was going to be an edge-of-the-seat job. With a couple of laps remaining, it looked like it was done and dusted. But that was not the case. Who knew Flint Scheuring was going to play such a pivotal part? Sasha Norden congratulating Robert de Haan as Keegan Masters. Let's have a look again here. Remember, Scheuring was in the lead, had backed himself into Robert de Haan, unless there was an issue. But then there was that little bump into the corner that sent Scheuring spinning around and into Alessandro Ghiretti. It is under investigation by our race stewards. So I would just say the results are provisional. Just keep that in mind. The stewards are taking a look at it. But I think Ghiretti, he's probably not in the mood for standing on the podium today. He's probably in the mood for just going out the back and maybe having a drink and sitting in a dark room for a while, I should think. Robert de Haan, the driver who joined this series and rocked the establishment. This being his 34th race and his 7th win in the series. I've said before, I talked about him in ADAC Formula 4 Germany many years ago. He was a good driver then, but now he really has found his place. He was the champion of Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux in 2023. We've seen him in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, where he became the champion in 23. We've seen him in Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain. But it's in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, and now Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. That is won races. This surely the biggest championship of his career. Here at the Hockenheimring, holding it all together when everybody else was maybe losing their heads. And then he celebrates on the roof of the car. Just while we have a moment and we look at the celebrations, it may be the end of season 2025, the 36th season of Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. Pleased to announce season 37 is incoming, and if you're going to be joining us, it will be at Imola from the 17th to the 19th of April next year. Right, subject to confirmation, here is the result of race 16. Robert de Haan got in front, stayed in front. Alessandro Ghiretti in second, Ariel Levy in third, Alex Tauscher in fourth, ahead of Keegan Masters, Theo Overhaus. Senna van Serlen, 7th place there for Senna van Serlen, ahead of Janis Stiak. I think that was one of Senna van Serlen's best results. So he's had a 5th last year at the Red Bull Ring, so good job there. Kiana Blum, who Van Eindhoven holds on to 3rd in the Drivers' Championship ahead of Sasha Norden, the rookie winner, Dirk Schuiten, Mathieu Ferreira, Nick Ho, Flint Schering eventually coming home in 15th place ahead of Jan Seifert. Gisela Cordil, Marcos Flack, Sebastian Freimuth, Ahmed Al-Shihab, Joe Warhurst, Mikael Schrei, Carol Krent and Mikael Essmann round out the top 24. Ahead of Alexandra Vatova, Zuren Spreng, Jonas Greif, Lawrence Stegman, the only non-finisher, Gianluca Tucciaroglu, such a shame, bad luck for him. And, well, good job to everybody. Well, I told you there was a big crowd here, didn't I? Good job to everybody, bar one, getting to the end of the race, which is quite something. So next year, the season will kick off at Imola, part of the World Endurance Championship, 17th to the 19th of April. So we look again at the results. Round 2 next year will coincide with the season opener for the DTM. That'll be at the Red Bull Ring, 24th to 26th of April. Bring your snow jackets and your skis for that one. Round 3 will be part of the GT Open at Spa-Francorchamps, 15th to 17th of May, and then DTM all the way. It'll be the Lausitz Ring in June, Norris Ring in July. Yes, we're back in the streets of Nuremberg. Nürburgring in August, and then we'll be back here this time next year, 9th to 11th of October, for the season closer. So that'll all be online. Check that out online as we look again just at the unofficial classification for that race. The rest of the positions scrolling through, and all subject to confirmation. I can't remember a season that has had as many ups and downs as this, and what a traumatic finale that was. Yes, there is a very big crowd here at the Hockenheimring. We've got it all to do again in a bit for the DTM finale, and if that is half as exciting as that, I'm not sure the old ticker will be able to take it. Right, we're getting ready for the podium. Here comes Ariel Levy. He kept out of trouble, and he gets a bit of silverware for his efforts. I'm not expecting any big smiles here. Ghiretti to second spot on the podium. The new champion and the race winner, Robert de Haan, will stand on the top step of the podium. A reluctant handshake from Alessandro Ghiretti. And then a representative, Niklas Munyakazi, the junior data engineer, beg your pardon, apologies for the poor pronunciation, but representing Proton Huber Competition. And now the national anthem. A familiar tune that echoes from the podium of Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany, the tune of the Netherlands. And Robert de Haan becomes the new champion as Guido Kuchera, managing director of Decra Automobile, presents the third place trophy to Ariel Levy. Thomas Illner, the chief operating officer of Porsche Deutschland, will present the second place trophy to Alessandro Ghiretti. Robert de Haan will cherish this one as Guido Kuchera presents his winning trophy, and he'll have an even bigger one than that to collect in Munich later on in November when the award ceremony happens. Proton Huber Competition. I haven't even worked out the team's championship yet. I've have a feeling Proton Huber may well be somewhere up there, but that will need to be confirmed. At the moment, the drivers pose 4 photographs. And I should think 2 of the 3 drivers will celebrate. 1 of the 3 will probably perform the muted celebrations and want to leave stage right as quickly as possible. And we're left with just the other 2 celebrating the end of an insane season for Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany. 16 races, every single one of them absolutely spellbinding. They saved the biggest drama to the very end. Your rookie champion is Sasha Norden. Your Pro-Am champion is Michael Schrei as he heads into retirement. Your overall champion for 2025 is Robert de Haan. We'll see you in April next year for Porsche Sixt Carrera Cup Germany 2026.